The flames of red cliffs had died, but the embers of rivalry between the victors began to glow. Cao Cao was defeated, but the alliance between Liu Bei and Sun Quan was already fracturing. The central prize, the vast and strategically vital Jing Province, lay open for the taking. Zhou Yu, the proud commander of the southern forces, believed it was his right by conquest. He had sacrificed his men and resources to win the battle. But Zhuge Liang knew that Jing Province was the cornerstone of his master's entire future. The first step in the Longzhong plan, the alliance forged in desperation, was about to be tested by ambition. The war against Cao Cao was over. The war for the spoils was just beginning. Zhou Yu, believing in the simple logic of force, launched a direct and costly assault on the main garrisons of Jing Province. He became bogged down in a series of bloody sieges, paying for every inch of ground with the lives of his soldiers. This was exactly what Zhuge Liang had anticipated. While Zhou Yu was busy fighting the cornered wolf at the front door, Zhuge Liang gave his generals a different set of orders. He had already identified the key commanderies that were left undefended, their garrisons drained to support the main front. He dispatched the lightning-fast Zhao Yun on a secret mission, not to fight the enemy, but to simply walk into the empty cities and claim them. It was after finally capturing his target fortress at great cost, a wounded and exhausted Zhou Yu was stunned to receive the news. While he had been fighting, Zhuge Liang's forces had already seized all the major cities behind his back, without losing a single man. The people who had long admired Liu Bei's virtuous reputation had welcomed his army as liberators. Zhou Yu was left holding a single blood-soaked fortress in a province that was now effectively owned by his ally. The rage he felt was so profound, it was said to have reopened his battle wounds. Zhuge Liang had not just defeated him, he had humiliated him, proving that the mind was a far sharper weapon than the sword. Infuriated, Sun Quan demanded that Liu Bei surrender the province. To avert a new war, a brilliant compromise was brokered by Zhuge Liang. Liu Bei would officially borrow Jing Province from Sun Quan, with the solemn promise to return it once he had secured his own territory in the west. It was a masterpiece of diplomacy, a solution that allowed both sides to save face. Liu Bei gained his vital strategic base, while Sun Quan could claim official ownership. But this clever arrangement was a poisoned pill. The debt of Jing Province would become a source of immense distrust and resentment, a political time bomb that would tick away for years, destined to one day. With Jing Province secured, Zhuge Liang urged his lord to take the second step of the Longzhong plan, the conquest of the vast, fertile, and easily defensible Yi Province to the west. This presented Liu Bei with a profound moral dilemma. Ruler of Yi Province, Liu Zhang, was a distant member of his own imperial clan. To attack him would be to attack family, an act that seemed to betray the very benevolence and righteousness upon which he had built his reputation. But Zhuge Liang was insistent. Liu Zhang was a weak and ineffective ruler, incapable of defending his land from the looming threat of Cao Cao. The only way to secure the future was to take the west. Liu Bei was torn between his virtue and his destiny. Under the pretext of helping Liu Zhang defend against a northern warlord, Liu Bei led his veteran army into the western territories. For a time, he played the part of the loyal kinsman. But the pretense could not last. A plot was uncovered. Intentions were revealed, and the two branches of the Liu clan went to war. The campaign was long and difficult, fought in treacherous mountain terrain. But Liu Zhang's decadent and poorly led forces were no match for the battle-hardened veterans. Under Liu Bei's command, after a lengthy siege of the capital, Chengdu, Liu Zhang finally surrendered. Liu Bei had secured the second pillar of his future empire. He was now to legitimize his new status as a major power. Liu Bei's followers urged him to take a royal title, After a significant victory against Cao Cao's forces in the strategic Hanzhong region, he declared himself the King of Hanzhong. This was a direct challenge to Cao Cao's authority. He was no longer a wandering general or a provincial governor. He was a sovereign, a king with a mission to restore the Han dynasty. In his new capital of Chengdu, he established his court, appointing his sworn brothers and loyal followers to high positions. The wandering dragon had finally found his lair. The Kingdom of Shu-Han was born. Liu Bei's declaration sent shockwaves north. Cao Cao, who had spent years recovering from his defeat at Red Cliffs and consolidating his absolute control over the northern heartland, could not allow this challenge to go unanswered. Forcing the hand of the puppet emperor, he had himself granted the title of King of Wei. This was a monumental step. While he still paid lip service to the Han emperor, his title and his actions made his true intentions clear. The Han dynasty was merely a shell, and the true power in the north was the newly christened Kingdom of Wei. The first of the three pillars had been officially cemented in place. With his two great rivals both declaring themselves kings, Sun Quan in the south could not afford to be seen as a lesser power. He had spent the years since Red Cliffs consolidating his control over the southern territories, building a prosperous state and a formidable navy. He, too, adopted the title of king, becoming the King of Wu. He was the master of the Yangtze River, his kingdom secure and rich with resources. While he lacked the legitimacy of Liu Bei or the sheer military might of Cao Cao, his position was stable and his power was absolute within his own. The Han dynasty, which had ruled for 400 years, was now a ghost. The chaotic scramble for power that had begun with the Yellow Turban Rebellion had finally ended, replaced by a new, stable, and terrifying reality. Three great kingdoms now stood where one empire had fallen: Wei, Shu, and Wu. Each was ruled by a brilliant and ambitious king. Each had its own legendary heroes and peerless strategists, and each was dedicated to the ultimate destruction of the other two. The long war was over. The Great War was about to begin. The age of the Three Kingdoms had truly arrived.